It's another Lurkers in the lobby. And of course, I am Grumpy, your host. And with me today is the man who can only be described as an interesting little laboratory.
Me, it's Andy. I'm a laboratory.
Laboratory.
Oh, jeez. Sounds pretty high class.
It is.
What do I look like?
You look like a normal laboratory, but you're pink.
You've got G2 pink.
See, G2 pink with a sunroof.
Ooh, that's all. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I'll go for that.
You're mixing between a 1964 laboratory and a 1992 Skoda.
Not too fond of the Skoda.
And that's where they got good at rallying.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about just the general Skoda you could pick up from your local car dealer.
Well, you know, that's what they use for rallies, basically.
True enough.
Because the things are indestructible. Kind of the point of them. Secret cars. Also with us today is the woman who can only be described as West.
What?
I said West.
Is that because I live west of you?
Possibly. Or maybe I'm just signaling what's coming up.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Maybe.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Yes. You are?
Oh, sick? No. No, slick, sorry.
You put the L in your name or else get the hose again.
Oh no, no hose. I was promised. No hose this time.
No hose this day.
No, it's like, I am sick, but I'm going to watch a movie. I don't care.
Not right. But you're not the only one who's sick. I'm also not quite right. So if my usual sexy tones don't sound right, it's purely because Andy infected me with the T virus.
Why do we always blame Andy when everybody's sick?
Because Andy is in fact a mixture of Herbert West, ReAnimator, and what's his face from Resident Evil, whose name I've just forgotten? Wesker.
Albert Wesker.
You are now known as Herbert Wesker.
Which Wesker? Because there's only a couple of good Weskers in my eyes.
I'm going to go for Resident Evil 2 Wesker.
That's fine. Yep. Shit, I'm with you there.
Because that's Wesker before he started getting silly.
Yes, agreed. Oh, I would love to disease people. I could be really good at it as well.
I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, because I'm completely fine, he says, tapping his wooden table in front of him.
So from this point on, Andy is known as Herbert Wesker. Attorney at law.
I wish that's the man. Oh man, attorney at law. I'd be making evil money as well. I'd be intelligent. I'd be making money from Satan.
Satan, zombies,
Satan ducks.
Stuart Gordon. So it's about this point that we always like to ask our third member, Miss Slick.
Yes.
How did you get yourself into Lovecraft?
Actually, it was this movie.
Oh!
Yeah, because I don't know if I knew who Lovecraft was before I saw ReAnimator the first time. And like a lot of the horror films I loved, the first time I saw this was my brother, John. I think I was in high school, maybe first year uni, something like that, late 80s, early 90s. I would say 89 or 90 to get specific. And he was sharing a house in South Tampa with friends. And I was down visiting. And he's like, you have to see this movie. And my best friend Missy was with us because she used to come down and visit too. And we start watching ReAnimator and we get to a point where there's a rather long Q-tip inserted somewhere fairly early in the film. And Missy just stood up and said, I'm done. And she left the room and went in the den to play video games and literally did not see any more of the film. I don't know that she ever finished it to this day, but I stayed around and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
There's a reason that you enjoyed the hell out of it. And I think it's worth saying at this point that out of all the films that we've covered so far, this is probably the least Lovecraftian Lovecraft film that we've...
Yeah, it's very loosely based on Herbert West.
Yeah, this has more in common with Evil Dead and films such as that than anything that Lovecraft wrote. But anyhow, so yes, the film that we're going to be watching tonight is Herbert West, ReAnimator. Or just ReAnimator from 1985, directed by Stuart Gordon, written by Stuart Gordon, William Norris, and Dennis Paoli. And I do have to, before we get started on this, I do have to read out the tagline for it. Herbert West has a good head on his shoulders and another one on his desk. I actually quite like that. The other ones are H.P. Lovecraft's classic tale of horror, which isn't as good. Death is just the beginning, which is a bit boring, to be honest.
A bit generic.
And it will scare you to pieces. Yeah, okay. Fair news. Right.
985, let it go.
I quite like Herbert West has a good head on his shoulders and another one on his desk.
Yeah, that's quite awesome, actually.
I think that gets the point across. So,
one on his desk likes to go down on women. What?
Oh man, spoilers.
I know.
So without any further ado, shall we begin watching the movie and see where our journey takes us? Okay? There, that is.
How the film is 2 years older than Andy, isn't it?
I think it's a little bit older than that because it came out 1995.
85. He just said 85.
Oh, 85. Oh, then yeah, 2 years older.
Yeah. So
Man, jeez, starts.
Oh, shush. Shush, Adam. You were born in the same fucking decade. Shut up.
He's my kinsman. You heard.
It's like you.
Oh, Adam's my Kinder Egg. He's got that disgusting white sticky stuff on the inside of him, which you can lick out, which I don't because I hate that stuff.
Yeah, well, lick me out, Andy. Lick me.
It's not bad enough you guys were talking about your bollocks before we started recording.
Might be talking about them again later.
I hope they are.
Don't spoil the surprise, Nick. Anyhow, shall we go into the film?
Sure.
Okay, so press play in 3, 2, 1, play. Now, the version of the film that we're watching is the unrated version.
The right version.
Weirdly enough,
Universitat.
I came to this film after seeing In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh.
So the intro to this, oh yeah, I didn't see this till many years after I should have. And I always feel that the beginning of this needs to have Sam Neill going in the background. I'm sorry about the balls. It's a lucky shot.
In a room down the hallway.
Yeah, just go past him.
I'm sorry about the balls.
Yeah, man. It was a lucky shot.
Yeah. It's one of the finest moments.
I only saw In the Mouth of Madness once, I must not.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. It's a film that we will get to, even though it's not actually based on any one Lovecraft.
But it's so Lovecraftian, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely, I think, Carpenter's a huge Lovecraft fan, and yeah, that's definitely his sort of love letter to Lovecraft. Love. Andy's boyfriend getting busted.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, man. He's just having a bad reaction to the roofies. I mean, oh. This is a very young, sexy Jeffrey, isn't it? Look how young he is.
He is, actually, yeah.
He's like, what, 17 or something?
Look at them eyes popping. Ooh! All over her.
And this is how we know we're in completely different territory to the average Lovecraft story, because now we have blood, guts, and gore.
Yeah.
And West is so, West is so, I can't think of the word I want for it. He's just straightforward about it. It's not gore. It's not a visceral reaction at all. It's all science.
Mm-hmm.
Very cerebral.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, his version of Herbert West is the perfect Herbert West from the short story.
Well, why don't you tell us about that short story of Herbert West? Because I don't know much about that version.
Right. Now, the short story of Herbert West ReAnimator originally is apparently a parody, which is a weird thing for a Lovecraft story. It's a parody of the Frankenstein story.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's odd. I'm trying to think of a way of describing it. It doesn't really fit with the rest of how Lovecraft writes. I
remember it as being less flowery in the language.
Very much so. It's more down to earth.
Yeah. Definitely. When I read that, I was whoa, is this definitely Lovecraft? It has a different feel, but
Was
Complete.
it one of his earlier stories then, potentially, before he started just going, I'm batshit crazy, I don't give a crap.
Not particularly. I mean, he wrote it in 21. It got published in 1921 and 1922, between October and June of those years. In was it Weird Tales? I think it was Homebrew first, and then it got republished in Weird Tales, if memory serves me correctly. It's also the first time that he mentions the Miskatonic University,
yeah.
which is really strange. So I'm trying to work out how to describe it. It was published in 6 stories, 6 volumes. It starts off with the usual sort of Lovecrafty thing of narrator starts talking about how someone has disappeared, and then carries on with the narrator being the most stupid fecking man in the world. One of the moments is when he talks about how West brings a very fresh corpse and just goes, "You see this corpse? How fresh is this?" And the narrator goes, "Yes, it's almost like he's still alive. Shut up and help me put this pillow over his face."
What?
Yeah, it's an odd story. I can't really explain the story of it. It is just pretty much the same thing of West goes around trying to make zombies happen, and then zombies eat him.
Here we first see Dan.
And our first boob of the movie.
Yes, exactly.
Boobs.
And that
Yeah.
lady there, I believe, is Stuart Gordon's wife at the time. I don't know if they're still together. But this lady in the glasses, I'm pretty sure, is his wife.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did squeal a little bit when I watched it today, because the first time I watched this, I didn't know much about Lovecraft stuff, so I was like, the Miskatonic University of Arkham, I was like, okay, fair enough, but I rewatched it today and went, oh my god, what's going on? Don't go to the university, the Necronomicon's there.
In Arkham, Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember just thinking, the first time I saw it, because I had heard of Lovecraft, but I'd never read any of his stuff, so I was just like, there's no Miskatonic University in Massachusetts. There's no fucking Arkham, Massachusetts. What the hell?
There should be.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Hobbs End. Maybe there is, but it's just not on any record.
Yeah, and if you try to leave, you just keep ending up back there.
Yeah.
It's something that we'll probably mention when we come to doing In the Mouth of Madness, but I do feel, now you've mentioned Hobbs End, I have to bring this up. Do you always find it really weird that the kid on the bike turned into John Carpenter?
What, of today? Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe John knew how he was going to look. Oh, yeah, he looks creepy like John.
Really? I'm gonna have to
No.
go back and see that. I don't remember him what the kid looked like. I remember it.
Every time the kid goes past on the bike, he gets older and older. He gets creepier and creepier looking. And the last time you see him, he looks terrifyingly like how John Carpenter looks today.
He just needs a beard and glasses and a cap, doesn't he?
Yeah, pretty
Peter
much.
doesn't have a beard.
Does he not have a beard? I thought he did.
Yeah. He has
It's
a
good.
mustache.
Yes. I think the last time I saw him, he actually had a little goatee.
Mm.
Suits him. Right. This is something I have to bring up. You see this guy here, as he brings in dead people.
Good old Dan.
Here's a fun drinking game for you. How many times does he enter this morgue?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I come in and out.
Yeah. It's like, you must be the worst doctor in the world. How many dead people do you bring us?
At least a student, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
And, and they got to try somehow.
Now, have you left your lunch there? Is that your lunch you've left sitting on that guide?
I don't think so. This is Bruce Abbott playing Dan, by the way.
And he is sweating.
Yes, well, he's dealing with the dead. It's sweaty work.
Sweaty work. Oh, the dead get me sweaty. They made me stink up the place.
Mm. Now, this was the bit where, Missy left the room after this.
Yeah. Brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't look like an effect. That looks like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
And I think we all know what I'm going to say now, and that's going to be, you see physical effects, they're better than CGI.
Definitely.
Yep. Because this film is how old now? Almost 30 years old? 28 years old?
Yep.
Yeah, 27, 28 at this point.
Yeah. So, and that still looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's a couple of shots here and there where you can tell that it's a prosthetic head and stuff, but the way they film it, they work around what they used.
Well, it's like any film of the time that had no budget.
Yeah.
They learned to work around and learned to do things to hide the lack of budget.
Nowadays, if you have no budget, what you do is you use terrible CGI.
Yeah, you use utterly shite CGI that looks fake and horrible and belies the fact you have no budget. I don't understand it. You'd have
Because
thought,
it's cheaper now to do CGI because you can get anyone to do it in the basement, basically.
yeah.
If you get someone to do good prosthetics, I'm sure it still costs a fair bit at this point. Probably because there's not many people that can do it, maybe. I'm just guessing.
There seems to be still a large amount of people doing it in the sort of California area. And San Francisco, that type of place. But outside of that, I mean, I don't think there's anywhere near the amount of sort of makeup and prosthetic guys in this country, in the UK, that there were 10 years ago.
No, probably not.
Were you saying that the bulk of the prosthetic people were in San Francisco?
I was sort of say as California, San Francisco, that type of area.
I would say more in LA.
LA.
The other end of the state. And there's
West
a ton
side.
of them in Pittsburgh and that area. Actually, they're kind of all over the place now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oops, sex scene.
I think Robert Rodriguez has spawned some people in Texas doing it on their own and stuff too. Oh my lord, they're having sex. Oh.
We know from this scene that Dan is a good lover. That's well, at least it sounds like he's a good lover. Otherwise, she's really good at faking.
And there's Rufus the cat.
Oh, Rufus the cat.
Rufus.
Oh, okay.
Rufy the
Rufus. Rufus the cat.
Should call him Rufy the cat. Rufus does not approve of sex. If I'm not allowed any, neither are you, Dan.
You neutered me, Dan. You neutered me.
And the first time we see Barbara Crampton's boobies.
Yep. Go on, Babs, get your abs out for me.
Follow her on Twitter now. She's quite awesome.
Oh. What's in it? Address on Twitter?
I believe it's just Barbara Crampton.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, she's quite awesome. She seems very down to earth, and she's married, has a couple kids. Doesn't take herself too seriously or her career. She's a genuine horror fan herself. She tweets about watching horror films all the time, which I think is very cool. Yeah, Barbara Crampton, all one word.
Go check her out, I guess.
Yeah, I would. She's a good tweeter.
Does Mr. West have a Twitter? Do you know, Andy?
I do not know.
Jeffrey Combs does not, I'm pretty sure. He's very private.
He is.
Like, ridiculously so.
I always feel that this is meant to be a reference to They're Coming to Get You, Barbara.
I could see
It
that.
might be from Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Not as much a reference to it, just sort of taking that idea and playing with it.
Feels similar to a scene in Halloween as well.
Yes. Well, I've got such a great story about that scene.
First reading of The West.
Ah, hello, Dan's penis.
I want to know how long he was standing out there.
Just watching them.
Yes, he was just sitting there at the window. He actually threw the cat in through the window. Stop.
Go on, Rufus. Break it up.
Rufus, I have plans for you, you poor bastard. She's like,
Combs really is a strange looking fella, isn't he? It's like the top half of his head's too big for the bottom half.
What?
Especially now he's got this like really slender bottom half of his face, but the top half of his face is that giant brain boss.
what? I don't see that at all.
I'd say he definitely has the look of, I don't want to say a creepy guy, but he does play the creepy guy quite well and quite often, or the mysterious guy.
Well, you've seen him playing Lovecraft now, haven't you?
Yes. Oh, that was really good. He looks so good.
The makeup job was insanely awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was like,
It's not huge. Which film was that in? Was it like he bookended it? It was an anthology. Yeah. That was quite. I think the last story in that one I hated, but some of it was good.
Oh, I thought
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was utterly brilliant in that. Well, Combs is...
Go ahead.
Oh, go Flick.
I was going to say, it's like you would never think, looking at him and knowing how Lovecraft looks, that they could make him resemble him,
Yes.
prosthetics, but it's the same thing as Martin Landau playing Bela Lugosi.
Yes. Which is incredible in Ed Wood.
Yes, thank you, Ed Wood, yeah, that film is so sad. But his performance is amazing. But it's like they just sort of fixate on certain features to kind of give you the feel of Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Just like they did with Landau, making him, he's more reminiscent of Lugosi than actually looking like him. And the rest of it was down to performance.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. What they both do, both in Landau's case and in Combs's case, is they act the part out to give you the feel of the character rather than going for a one-for-one. I mean, Landau doesn't exactly go one-for-one Bela Lugosi voice and walk or anything, but he does enough to give you the feel of the guy. Yeah. Ed Wood's a great...
More about the sad state of his life at that point of his life, too, than about sounding exactly like him or the gestures or whatever, which he gets down, though. Oh, my Lord, that guy's toupee went too deep.
What I wanted to do is the Steve Martin style way of getting into the brain. You sort of spin the top of the head a couple of times.
Is that from the movie Man with Two Brains?
Yep, that's a Man with Two Brains.
Yeah, I thought so.
Forgot about that.
Fantastic film.
Good old Steve Martin.
Back when he was funny.
Better than The Thing with Two Heads.
The Thing with Two Heads?
Yeah, terrible movie from probably the early 70s. All I remember about it is like a white guy ends up he's super racist too, and Rosie Greer plays this guy in it who was this big black football player in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And they, for some reason, cut his head has to be removed and they sew it on the white guy's body to save it.
Oh, God.
It's like sewn on the guy's shoulder, like right next to his head, so he's cut to it, and it's a black guy to boot, and he hates black people. It's 10 times worse than it sounds.
That's kind of impressive.
And this bit with the pencils cracks me up. I'm going to make a point by snapping pencils.
One of the more interesting things about the making of this film is that Stuart Gordon and the effects team actually went to medical seminars and things. They wanted to get the gore effects and everything as right as they could.
Mm. They used I know, steer bits, cow bits for the brains at one point when they head gets thrown against the wall, and the crew is just covered in garbage bags, literally, because they didn't know how bad they were going to splat when they hit the wall. So it was anticipatory garbage bag wearing by the crew. That guy's got quite a face too, David Gale. Or no, is that his name? I'm forgetting. Yeah, David Gale, brain fart.
It's not the best face. The best face was when I was watching Tango and Cash the other night.
Oh, God, Tango and Cash.
I'm trying to think what the guy's name is. It's like David Zabrisa or something like that. He's a man who looks like he has a face stuffed inside his face.
Oh, God.
Who was this in Tango and Cash? I'm sorry.
It's the guy who is the head of the prisoners. He's the main... It's like David Zabrissus or something like that. I looked him up because I was just amazed that a man could actually have that face.
Wow.
Oh, and the doctor, his feelings for Megan are just like, oh God, it's like the creepiest. He's 10 times creepier than West, I think, in this.
Oh, definitely. By the end, you're like, my God. Herbert West is a normal guy, but to a point. I won't go too far.
Say normal, but yeah.
Yeah, to a point.
I'm sorry, I didn't like, just to go back to what I was saying before, his name is Robert Zadar, and the character who plays his face.
Word.
So Face has the bizarre face.
He has a face stuffed inside his face.
Oh, I think that's typecasting. Sorry.
But anyhow, back to ReAnimator and moving away from face.
I want to see this face within a face. Oh, God. Oh.
Man has a face stuffed inside his face.
Yeah, that don't look right. No thanks. Lovely red sweater there by Dan.
Oh, yes, I know that dude, Robert Zadar. Yeah. He, I think it's something like a deformity or something he was born with, or some kind of, there's a medical reason for it, I think.
Oh, thanks. Now I feel guilty. Now I feel guilty.
Just know you're a terrible person, Gruff.
I am. I'm a terrible person who was mentioning this man's face looking like he had another face stuffed inside it.
Well, it's kind of exactly how it looks, so.
You see how it is.
Back to the film.
Sexy in that sweater, man.
There's nothing says aphrodisiac more than me in a red sweater.
Dead bodies. Do you like them, Barbara? You're going to see more of them this film.
You gotta get you, Barbara.
You know, she actually had an affair with the Combs once.
Ha. Awesome.
They, I think it was either when they did From Beyond or another movie. Oh, Christ. They did another movie with Gordon that was absolutely terrible. I couldn't even finish it. Where they played a married couple, but their marriage was on the rocks. What the hell was that called? I was like, ooh, she had a weird affair with the Combs. Rock on.
Sometimes Jeffrey gets around.
Jeffrey was a bit of a man whore.
It's like a fine vintage. Everyone must have a sip at one point.
Yes, that's right.
Everybody wants to touch the Combs.
I'm right. I did think it was weird that Barbara fixated here on the cat not being around to an extreme level.
Well, she's trying to get him to stop trying to have a go.
Don't lie, how it's like
Movie on.
Oh, totally. It's totally a plot device.
Plot device. Castle Freak. That's the name of the movie that they did together.
Oh, that's what we're going to be doing.
Is it? Is that a Lovecraft one?
God, I couldn't get through it. It was so bad.
You see, this is the last of the good films that we're going to do for a while.
How many bad ones are we doing, FYI?
Well, we've done 3 good, so I think we have to do 3 bad.
God. As long as they're not... We have to do Dunwich Horror next.
Yes, that's the next one.
Thank you. Get it out of the way.
Dunwich Horror, then The Unnameable. I'm not going to get you with House of Cthulhu / Cthulhu Mansion just yet.
No, you said that will be last.
That will be the final straw. That will be the thing that breaks you.
That will be Sam Neill in the theatre.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm honestly surprised that Combs' door isn't, like, locked with several locks and...
Locked and bolted, and he's actually in there with a gun.
It would have been awesome if on the other side of the door it had, like, a giant poster of the Elder sign. Just there. Like, never mentioned, never talked about. It's just an Elder sign. It's like, all right.
Just like Cthulhu wants you post.
Oh, that'll be great.
Why vote for the lesser evil? So it's...
So,
Why does she go? Oh, yes, because the fridge is left open. That's what kills me.
It's got a little snaggletooth as well, the cat.
Yep.
Yes, Dan.
Yeah. There's a cat in the fridge.
Oh my god, my Oreos, you bastard. Why are they here?
No, don't check to see if the cat's alive.
I thought he was checking its pulse.
It's like the worst looking dead cat, which I'm so grateful for because I would have such issues with it if it looked real.
I thought you were...
Too much supple with the scene coming up where they reanimate it. That's a Lovecraft's like, or actually some of the Poe stuff that I've seen, Poe films like Black Cat, and it's like, oh my god, I can't watch this shit. I think Poe hated cats or something. It's like, Christ.
He was allergic, wasn't he?
I don't know.
If he was, I might explain it.
Sure, I read that somewhere. I might have that wrong. Although here's an interesting fact for you.
What?
This film deviates very quickly from Lovecraft's original story. So much so, we have a female protagonist. We have a character who is female.
Yeah, to get boobs in.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Lovecraft very rarely had any kind of female character in his stories, let alone one that was integral to the plot.
Was it, dare I ask, because he was potentially sexist as well as racist?
I think it's because he didn't rate women.
I think he was probably terrified of women, and they mystified him so much that he wouldn't even think to write female characters.
Well, if you look at the story of Lovecraft's marriage,
Yeah.
that's really quite bizarre. That was less of a marriage and more...
Older lady, and then didn't she married before as well, and then they even lived together for years, and then...
Well, yeah, once they moved to New York, he hated every moment of it, and she went off to...
There's foreigners in New York. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, we talked about some of the things that he wrote in his letters last episode, and oh, Jesus. But yeah, I mean...
The man of the people, really. He loved...
The white people.
Yes, he loved the colored folks. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, he hated... Talk about being a xenophobe. Jesus Christ, he was like the...
Not even a xenophobe. He hated white people just as much as anything else. In his mind, I think the only real safe people were him, locked away.
Well, but that is the epitome of a xenophobe, is anybody from outside.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it could be anyone, you know.
But if you think about it, he was even afraid of himself.
Yeah,
for a lot.
We talked about that last week.
He was terrified of the idea that in his genetics he carried the same madness that both of his parents had.
Mm-hmm. Well, Daddy's madness came from syphilis.
Yes. Daddy's madness was great fun. Mummy's madness also must have come from syphilis if you think about it.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you gotta wonder, you know, if, you know, because in Z-Tac fight a dead cat.
Down this backpack.
These are the kind of scenes I would kill to see outtakes of.
At least Jeffrey's really animated here. He's trying to sell it as best he can.
Oh, he's selling it.
Yeah.
Right. Dan was ready to take a bat to his beloved Rufus there.
Rufus was pissed. Did you see him? Jeez.
Oh, I think it would be too if I was Rufus.
If Rufus sees Gruff, I'd have to take a baseball bat to Gruff. If he was like on Mikey's back, ripping Mikey's back apart. Especially if he was making these noises.
What is the story that he tells that, how did Rufus die? He got hit by a car or something?
No, he put his head in a jam jar and suffocated, which I think was probably the best, like, awful line ever. It's, oh yeah, he put his head in the bottle.
I always felt like that was total bullshit, like Wes just killed the cat and said,
yeah,
dead, you know?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I love this scene. Ooh, fucking cat.
With the blob of stuff on the wall.
I just love how he throws against the wall.
Threw it like a baseball bat, just like a baseball player with an overhand. That's great. Look out! Gotcha.
Wow, you're unhinged, my friend. Seriously unhinged.
Doesn't help though when the light swings away from him, it's still got that reflection on the glasses.
Yeah.
Like that cartoon effect where it doesn't show you their eyes.
Beautiful, beautiful bit of scenery. Not scenery, framery.
Yeah, cinematography. Whether it was done on purpose or not, it was still nice that their glasses did that.
That's absolutely done on purpose, knowing
Hope so.
Yeah. Stuart Gordon's very particular.
One interesting thing for you. You know the green goop, the serum that he uses?
Yes.
Do you know what that's actually made of?
I think I know.
I've heard before, I can't remember.
It's the inside of glow sticks.
Yeah.
Yes.
The inside of glow sticks in the 80s.
Very toxic.
Incredibly so. There's a lovely little story that I once read where somebody didn't realize he had to be very careful and get rid of it, and they just sort of poured it all out over into grass. Nothing ever grew there ever again.
God.
I like the idea of like squirrels just dropping from the trees. This stuff doesn't bring back the dead, it kills.
Poor squirrels.
Oh, we were talking about Lovecraft's family
a
few minutes ago. And I've just realized there's something I've never mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
You're his descendant.
No.
Oh.
Now, on the other hand, the Shub Niggurath, he's my daddy. We've never mentioned the fact that Lovecraft had a grandfather.
Don't you mean mummy?
Yeah. Does it really matter?
Yeah,
When you
I guess.
talking about some kind of elder thing, does it really matter what sex you decide to call it?
I guess, because they can all breed in some form.
It's like, as we once mentioned, whilst watching a certain anime.
You just gotta accept it.
Yeah, if Cthulhu wants to mate with you, just lie back.
Yep.
Whatever makes it easier for you.
Take the tentacles.
No, we're talking about Lovecraft's father, whose madness came from syphilis. But Lovecraft's father also had a father.
That makes
Lovecraft's
sense.
father had the amazingly named Whipple Phillips.
Yes.
The what now?
Whipple Phillips. Whipple Van Buren Phillips, who was a Freemason.
Wasn't that his mother's father?
No, I'm sure it was his... No, because it's Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course it would be.
Oh, see, I don't like this bit. I'm not going to look at this.
See, my apologies. I'm still not well in the slightest. My brain isn't happy.
I can't watch or hear animals suffering, so I'm like, I'm muting it for a moment.
That's fine. I don't see that.
I like horror, but I don't like animals getting hurt.
I see that as H.P. Lovecraft's idea of what the Muppets should look like.
That would be an entirely different Muppets.
Yeah. Kermit the Squid.
It did remind me a bit of a Skeksis. Is it a Skeksis? Bird people from Dark Crystal?
Yes, yeah. Gelfling. By stone.
Stu mentioned a gelfling the other day. I was like, what the fuck is a gelfling? And he's like, what? And he's like, it's from Dark Crystal. I'm like, I've never seen that.
Oh.
I know, that was his reaction.
Unfortunately, you'd probably hate it now.
Yes, I saw it after Jai recommended it and did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I don't think I would enjoy it. I don't think I would have enjoyed it then, to tell you the truth. But
I tried. I liked the Skeksis design, but I didn't like the story, and the Gelfling was really creepier than the Skeksis.
Gelfling.
With his smooth plastic face.
Gelflings.
You should dress up as...
Dad, I think Megan's dad would have hated Dan, even if he was like the most perfect person on the planet.
Oh god, yeah.
It's a shame it kind of wasn't as touched upon before this scene, like when he went round to the house. Would have been nice if there was a bit more hatred in his eyes when he saw his daughter with him.
Or it just punches him out.
That would be nice.
I always want Dan to just tell Halsey to go fuck himself.
I like the idea of you're invited around Thanksgiving dinner.
Fuck you.
Dan's tiny little fringe. Look at that. Oh.
That's not
Tiny
fringe. Sort of fringe in the slightest. That's some hair that's trying to escape the movie.
Yes, exactly.
No, the hair's actually trying to get to... Oh, here we go. He's bringing another dead one in.
So that's number
we have
2?
to drink booze.
Yes, 2. Right.
I love this dude, this security guy at the morgue, by the way.
What you mean, the chronic masturbator?
Yes. Yeah.
The chronic masturbator.
I see where Griff's coming from.
Yeah, this guy,
He goes to the bathroom all the time.
Oh, yes.
And he does have the titty magazines.
Yep. He takes the titty magazine with him.
But that's for reading while you poop.
No. Chronic masturbator. He also seems to have actual boobs.
And a cigar in a hospital, so it definitely was the 80s.
He don't give a shit.
Worst security guard ever.
Oh, he don't give a shit. Says earlier, like, oh, who's gonna get it? There's no one gonna be coming out, and who's gonna go in to get a dead body?
Yeah.
He don't give a crap. He just wants to go home and do his life.
He's just there for the paycheck, man. He doesn't give a shit about
Totally.
things. And it's interesting because in that bit right there, he starts putting on his shoes and socks so fast. There's a toe tag on his toe and he leaves it on. Yeah. Just puts the sock on right over, which always kill him. Like, how much of that scene did he actually have that on, like inside his shoe, and how uncomfortable was that?
It'll be right up until the point where they
enter,
enter the cold room.
Yeah.
It's like the worst shopping list ever, isn't it?
Searching for the dead.
Which dead can I use today?
I'm sure Doc Frankenstein did this as well.
These look more like bin bags than body bags.
Totally. It's cheaper.
Yep. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about because you're British.
Nope, not a clue.
Sorry.
Is a major brand of bin bags here. It's called Hefty.
Hefty.
One of their ad campaigns at one point said, that because it was a strong bag, it wouldn't break. So they would show people tugging at it, and the commercial would go like, hefty, 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 and then they'd tug at the inferior competition bag.
I don't think we've ever had
Go, wimpy,
bags
wimpy, wimpy.
for adverts.
Yeah.
Because it's weird.
I can't think of one.
No.
I would like the idea here that instead of getting body bags for the dead, they just stick them in the closest bin bag that they can find and throw them into the cold freezer.
Well, this one they're looking at now is obviously the fancy one because it's got a blue robe over him.
Yeah, he's got like a blanket.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the guy who looks, see his beanie. Oh my lord.
There's a lot of nude people in this movie by the air.
He's going to bite some fingers off when he's dead.
Now, am I right in saying that this guy here, this is actually the guy that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's body double?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was just going to bring that up, yeah. You see actually James Cameron's dad in this as well.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, he's randomly in the hospital. I think we haven't seen it yet, but there's some point where you see Barbara sitting and there's a guy with his jaw bandaged next to her. And James Cameron's father. Why? I don't know, but he's in it.
Cameo? Question, yeah.
Because everybody's going to go, that's James Cameron's son. I'm not.
James Cameron will be like that if he didn't know. Oh my God, Dad, what are you doing in this movie?
This is with Stuart Gordon. This was back in the day when James Cameron made this kind of movie instead of Titanic. Because I refuse to call it by the actual name. Tabada.
Oh, James.
James, go back to the days of Piranha 3D.
Go back to practical effects.
I don't know. I mean, he used a couple of CGI effects to very good use in Terminator 2. Yeah, just one or two.
Yeah.
But the guys who use it best now marry it with practical effects really well, like Del Toro and Jackson. But
Unfortunately, you have to bring it up against Avengers, which is the thing that the example that proves the rule wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how you do a lot of practical effects with Avengers and make it look good,
No,
unfortunately.
but then again, it had the budget to be able to make the CGI look that.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Well, and you also have a director in Whedon who gives a shit that wants it to look,
Very true.
Yeah. I don't think they could have actually gotten the Hulk to really flip Tom Hiddleston around like that. I don't think the insurance guys would have allowed that to happen.
You just don't tell him.
Oh, that's just wrong. Tom Hiddleston was like, fuck you guys, get a CG guy in.
Tom comes into work one day. Hey, Tom, guess what you're doing today?
Please get
Smash Tom.
into this harness.
Why? You'll see. Oh, you'll see.
Practice your pain to fake.
No, you don't have to practice. You will get practice for your pain face.
I love that. I didn't fail. He did.
That is right there, Herbert West in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's his lunacy and his hubris and everything that's wrong with that guy. Oh, Jesus. This is truly horrifying. I think if you were in a room with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's loving life again.
I've come back from the dead. It's time to party.
Oh, I danced with everybody.
Why is that?
When you know that song, that stupid song from Return of the Living Dead. Do you want to party? Oh, God.
I never understood why, if you were going to bring something back from the dead, you'd choose the biggest man in the room.
Well, he was the best.
Well, he was very specific. He did have specific needs, and that was just the only one that did it. But yeah, it's like, yay, okay, it's a big motherfucking dude. And this guy acts it so well, because what reference points do you have in life? Well, you're going to be dead, and then you're going to get reanimated by this horrible green shit, and you're going to go crazy.
Oh, this is the worst day ever. Big naked man's killing man.
I love the subtle paint job that they've actually done on the guy's skin.
Yeah. I bet, though, if you saw that in high definition, it would look awful.
Probably.
Just because high definition, in some ways, ruins a lot of stuff now.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to put. I don't know how that would stand up to high def. Yeah, it's a total all of wax.
It's a very wobbly wall.
Shh.
I'm not sure if just being moved around on the wall like a cloth would really kill him, but okay. Maybe he was dead.
He's just trying to clean the blood off the wall, and
Yeah,
he's just
exactly.
the doctor or the dean.
Dan, stand back.
Dan, I know what I need to do now, Dan. Dan, go away. This is like, seriously?
I'm loving life again. This is what I live for.
That effect's done very well, too, because it's like, how exactly did that do that? Because the guy's head is really there, so he's obviously... that one I still question exactly how they managed that.
It's actually a very surprisingly simple effect.
Do they have him down on his knees or what?
Pretty much. And there's two guys underneath it actually holding up the torso and moving it around.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know this because on the VHS version of the unrated copy, you actually saw the two guys' hands pushing it up and down.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jesus, that's brilliant.
Oops.
But not on the original ReAnimator VHS, just the unrated version.
Did they change the aspect ratio for the
They must have done.
edition?
They must have done.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that, but...
I think that was actually in widescreen whilst the ReAnimator originally was just full screen.
Yeah, that makes sense then, because they would have originally tried to film it by 4:3 and not had to worry about 16:9.
So yeah, if you ever found yourself with the ReAnimator anniversary VHS version, you have to see this film ripping itself apart.
Whoops.
Still not as good as the giant hands holding up a velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
I don't remember that either.
I've never seen that either.
It's not in any of the current versions. They managed to get rid of it in the DVD version.
Oh.
But when the velociraptor rears up in the doorway, it starts to tipple forward, and this hand just jumps out, grabs hold of its tail, and rights it back up again.
Is that like at the end?
Yeah, towards the end.
Just there's something about he says conquering brain death. He's so serious about it.
Yeah.
He's conquering brain death, not even just...
The thing is, do you get the idea that...
That's okay. Cameron,
Hello.
As I see Barbara.
I know, he looks so creepy. He's like, she's...
Why do all the old men want Barbara, apart from the obvious reasons?
I was going to say, you've seen her webs. Come on.
I'll have you know, it's polite to call them mammaries, my dear.
Oh, you're the one that said babs with the wabs earlier and all that.
That's right. 'Cause I'm fucking classy, damn it.
I just want to see Coombs dressed as Mum-Ra. I want to see your tits, my dear.
That would have been amazing. Poor Dan, though, at this point is totally in shock and just like, yeah, well, we're fucked anyway, so why not bring this guy back from the dead? Even though it's my girlfriend's dad.
At no point in this film actually had a spine.
No.
No.
So,
He just
but
kind
his hair
of
still looks fabulous.
he kind of gets dragged along, and it's too late before he knows it.
Yeah.
Also, he has no backbone.
No whatsoever. West has like a gravitational field, and Dan just gets dragged along with it.
And Dan is the most wishy-washy motherfucker ever in a horror film.
He's flippity-floppity.
Drinking game, how many times does blood come out of this guy's mouth? That's one.
More than once.
Yep, take a swig. That's one. I think in the next shot of him, he does it again, because the blood dried up on the side of his face.
I think another
Her
interesting...
awesome 80s pants. Yay.
Oh my god, yeah. They're not even beige.
He's gone to have a wank
Ripped
again.
down to the ankle. Yeah, he's off fapping again.
Here's number 2. Dribble. Blech.
French.
I hate you. I hate you so much, even when dead.
Especially when dead.
Even more so now because I'm dead.
And now I'm super strong as well.
Oh, yes, coming back from the dead always gives you super strength. When you're injected with glow stick material.
Oh, really, man? Goddamn. I was halfway through.
I was still trying to put my bra back on.
He actually has he does have mighty breasts on him, doesn't he? He does.
It's like how his
Okay.
patch just says security officer.
Yeah, man. It was meant to originally say rent-a-cop.
Keystone Cop.
Should have
Wait
a
a minute.
tonic logo on there. So.
And the most wishy-washy excuse ever that the security guard buys.
He doesn't buy it. He just goes, I don't get paid enough to deal with this shit. I'm phoning the police.
I would be like that if I was a friggin' rent-a-cop. Fuck that shit.
I love this little move Jeffrey does with the recorder as well. It's completely unnecessary. Look, here's a recorder. Twirl. In the pocket.
Because that's Combs. He's smooth like that.
He is.
I love how he's so gentle with Dan there. Oh, Dan.
It's like a little
So
puppy.
bad for you, Dan.
I love this idea that they think he's mad. They don't think he's a zombie. They think he's gone mad.
They can't tell that he died and came back.
No,
It's impressive that in one of the doctor's offices there is a padded room.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts. Like, why the fuck is this room even here?
Maybe our dear doctor friend likes to just have psychiatric patients for fun. It's like a goldfish tank, but with people.
this is known as the pervert room.
Yeah, and here's your pervert.
Yep. Now I'm touching.
That can't be
Better.
fake, can it? No, surely not.
Oh man, I want them to inject the toupee.
They should have done that in 3. It would have made sense with the rest of that movie.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do that one.
No, we're not.
Okay.
No. This is the only one you really need to do. The rest of them, I think, are super not H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, the use of that head on this desk later is so awesome.
It is.
So Slick, on a completely different tangent, I'm assuming that you have read the story this came from.
Many years ago, yes.
How well do you remember it?
Kind of remember the gist of it.
Well, how do you feel about the serious change they made between this and that?
Well, I read that after I saw the film, and the film is one of my favorites. I think I think if you call yourself a horror fan, even the slightest bit, you have to see this film. You have to know this film. You have to love this film. So, I'm more, the film is where my heart lies, but, it was I was kind of like, okay, I didn't know what to think with that. It was weird reading it after seeing this film.
Yeah.
Because
Just,
how much it was based on,
as I was saying before, it's a strange one because it's got nothing to do. The film and the book have very little to do with each other than a main premise. Which is,
and then Wes dies, doesn't he?
yes, he gets eaten by his own zombies.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the ending of the film when we get to that, because that's good fun. I like that ending.
That's bizarre.
It just seemed so very different from altogether. Pay attention to me. To the other stuff I'd read by Lovecraft, so it was just like, whoa, where the hell did that come from?
Is it me, or does he look like the Emperor right there from Shells?
Yes, he does. Unlimited madness.
Sorry to interrupt, I just felt it right there. It was like, wow.
And Gale just like punches the glass like to make him stop.
Oh, why is it the poor African Americans that have to handle the dead?
Because it's the 80s.
And it's H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, jeez. There's the nod to Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like Thorazine or something that he had in his syringe. And I wonder what kind of reaction that actually had.
Yeah. How do you sedate a dead person?
I don't know. A mad zombie.
A mallet.
Wait a minute. At that point, does Gale even know what's going on?
I don't think she does, no.
No, Gale is the doctor. She's Megan. Dr. Dale is the lab.
Oh, no, I don't think he does until he does this operation, does he?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a hell of a bruise on his face.
I was just admiring that, actually.
Yeah. There should be some swelling with a bruise of that color, though. It's
God.
inside.
Yeah, slap him in the bruise.
Oh, you bitch. That's two.
Oh, is that a tear in his eye? Oh.
No, my dear. You're insane. How do you like being names thrown at you?
Well, you're insane. Allow me to read from this, the Necronomicon, and other bedtime stories.
I found this
You're
book in the
insane.
library.
What?
I found this book in the library, heard it very good from people called Necronomicon. Let's have a look.
Let's have a read of this. Let's see if this calms you down and helps you sleep.
Well, it'd help us sleep.
The sleep of eternal death.
Is that the cat in the bucket again?
Yep.
Not bucket. Trough? Trough?
Tray.
Medical trough?
Tray. It's like a tray.
Cats in the bucket, what you were gonna do. Here we are. Now you get the idea.
Aires en las original publics. Right. Yeah. They
It's like, get the fuck out now.
I'm not being suspicious in the slightest.
With my creepy smile and possible terrible wig.
How good would it
no,
have been if
definite terrible way.
How good would it have been when he said, if he just reached inside and just got a cat's leg and just like chewing on it? Just absent-minded.
It's like chicken.
This tastes like cat. Zombie cat.
Tastes like pussy. Mar. Wait, he's gonna know what that tastes like too. Wait. Oh,
All in time.
the man likes pussy. What can we say?
He really likes it. Beyond life itself likes it.
I'll comment further on that, see when we get to it. But
Oh, yeah.
as a woman, it was. I'd never seen anything like that in a horror film before. That's for sure.
I don't think you will ever again.
No. Look at my toupee. Promising you.
Don't look around the eyes, look at the toupee.
My toupee is actually the skin of Amigo.
This mushroom arms you sat coming out the side of his head.
Two little eyes on little tentacles come out. Just look at him.
Jeez. Wes actually did look almost like he was hypnotized there, the way he's looking at him and gave up the book and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
His brain.
Wes, you're the hypnotizer, not the hypnotizee.
Well, I think he's sort of sitting there just looking at it going, will he understand? Does he get it? Does he get what I'm trying to do? Wes never sees himself as being degenerate at any point.
He's trying to further science.
Yeah.
That's all he wants. He wants to be the guy that pushes science forward. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be the, maybe not Einstein, but he wants to be the Thomas Graham Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I made a phone. Oh, yeah? Well, fuck you. I brought the dead back to life. How do you like that and them apples? Ooh, I made a light bulb. I brought the dead back to life.
I do wish I could steal this guy's denim jacket.
You'd need back to the 80s to steal that jacket.
Just look how 80s that jacket is. It's fantastic.
You could, maybe you'd be on eBay.
Uh,
Not this exact jacket, granted, but, you know.
Although you have made me start thinking, how many Miskatonic University clothes can I get from eBay?
I have looked and I haven't found many. I've typed in like Lovecraft and stuff like that into eBay and can't find a huge amount, but maybe Miskatonic would.
You can find Miskatonic t-shirts out there, loads of sweatshirts and stuff.
I think I need to find myself some of this. Now you can see exactly what West's thinking here. Coombs does an amazing job of just, you know exactly what he's thinking.
He's not stealing my stuff like he did to Mr. Gruber. Hans Gruber was the doctor's name, which I forgot to mention. So really,
so the name of the one of the.
It's the bad guy from Die Hard 1.
I was gonna say, isn't it Rickman's name in Die Hard? I didn't realize that until earlier today that they. What the hell's up with that? Can't be a coincidence.
Who knows?
Unless people just think Hans Gruber is kind of an everyman name like John Smith in Germany.
Yeah, like.
You bastard. For science. I love science. Science.
There was no blood on the shovel at first. And that's one of Stuart Gordon's kind of things, is people using a shovel as a weapon.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Once again, the effect's quite effective.
Yep, and they are using shadow to cover up the face because that is where the severed head would lose a lot of it if you saw it straight on.
Oh, this is one of the best things in the film right here.
It's practical as well. It
Yes.
makes sense.
It's fucking brilliant. And why they would have that sitting there.
Oh, it's a list of things to finish.
You can't help but wince.
Usually where you see that is in like diners and stuff where they put the used checks that have been paid on that, like they stab them on there. So why they have that in the basement, I don't know, but it works really well to hold that head up.
Yeah.
Oh dear, what is he?
Experimenting time, yo.
For science.
The science. He's blinding himself with science.
There's a sweet spot.
Squirt.
Right in the, what is that, the medulla oblongata? Or the cerebellum? It's probably the back of the cerebellum.
Some silly Greek name for the human body. Just brain.
There's little things about this film that I wish they'd brought in from the book.
Like what?
Like paying people to snick people from graves for them.
That would have worked, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And probably left less of a trail. But I suppose you didn't have enough time to get that moving.
Well, no, the film is quick.
Yeah.
The film is very quick.
It's not even quite an hour and a half, yeah.
It's very quick, and it sticks itself in only a couple of areas. It doesn't ever. The short stories goes on for, I think it's about 15 years. So it starts before World War One and ends after World War One's finished.
I love this.
His belly touches his head.
Oh,
Belly touched it.
Yeah.
but your head flopped down really hard on the desk anyway. Jeez, that's
He doesn't like to be touched by people.
so wacky by Combs' face there is a little funny. But well, going back to what you're saying, Adam, though, the thing was too is that I think the fact that West is, I think at this point, he's obviously well beyond actually trying to use dead bodies.
Oh yeah.
Because it keeps going on about how it's shorter time. It's got to be right after they die, or hey, the easiest thing is just kill somebody and then try it, because then it's real fresh. So yeah.
It's little things like Hazley in the book. He actually beats West and the narrator into unconsciousness and then goes off and killing people. And that's why he gets institutionalized. Because they think that he's just lost the plot and you go off and start killing people, which is like how the film works. But it's on a much bigger scale.
Just had the file there with all of Barbara's bits in it. See it in creepy. I love this.
Barbara's bits.
All of the bits. I love how he's got yellow pit stains as well.
Maybe you sweat yellow stuff when you come back.
Maybe.
I love the fact that he'll lobotomize a dead person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why not, right?
Just to see if any change happens.
Hill is like, he didn't use the old-fashioned, ice pick in the eye method. It was a laser to the brain.
Yeah, a little heat thing.
Oh my lord, this hangover. Wait.
This is what happens when you stop sniffing glue for one day.
Oh my lord, West needs to stop sniffing the glue. That's why he's going crazy.
He's got to the point where he needs to sniff the glue to not be crazy.
And like they're having drink booze to keep from getting drunk.
Exactly. No, oh god, there's a dead body running around. It's, oh no, my work.
Yeah. No worries that, There might be an hilarious scene with a fake head. Short of. But my work has been ravaged. Yeah, first mention of him being insane, maybe. Not anymore.
So you're addicted to bringing the dead back, yeah, necromancer.
Addicted to killing people and bringing them back. Can you imagine having like a roommate support group? My roommate keeps eating my food, even though I label it and put it in the fridge, and doesn't share the chores. Really? My roommate keeps killing people and bringing them back from the dead.
Oh, yeah, well, my roommate keeps eating my friends alive and screaming, I want brains, I want brains. Look at me, I'm a zombie. It's all about him.
It's a shame the film never does the wax head thing that the book does.
The wax head thing.
It kind of does it, but doesn't.
What do you mean, for those who haven't read the book?
Well, there's a fun little section of the book where people are just looking at someone who's in the pretty much same predicament as this guy here,
Okay.
as Hill. And they're just looking at this obviously wax head. It's kind of one of those things where they just go, that's a wax head. He has a wax head. And
I
then,
suppose they're trying to emulate that with the scene coming up, I
I
guess.
was just like, this seems very similar to that.
but then you never get the mysterious people, do you? There's the mysterious people who turn up at West's house going, so, wax-headed dude, I think you've got something to do with this.
What did we assume the extra load of junk in his brain did to him? Give him more humanity back? Or more sense?
Yeah, I think it seems to be the more gets poured into his brain, the more his brain works.
I just like the look on his face when he did it. He's like, oh yeah. It's almost like, like a cat or a dog when you're scratching the right spots. They're like, oh.
Whoops. Oh, my trophies.
Hilariously awkward at all. Oh yes, I need more blood.
Oh, I love that blood. Why does he need the blood?
I don't know.
Got nothing
It's
to
one of
pin
those
it
things
around.
you just go with because it's ReAnimator.
Yeah. Maybe he just likes the feel of it around his neck.
Maybe it's like sleepy time now. I'm in a tray full of blood. Now it's time to sleep.
The blood acts as a downer after the high of more of the green goop.
Yeah.
Oh, to rebalance him out.
It's balancing it out like people who smoke a joint after doing a bump of coke. It's all about balance, Andy. It's all about balance.
I get you.
Yeah, moderation, my friend.
I do find it funny that they play the decapitated doctor up for laughs a bit more here. Whilst in the original story, Clapham was this omnipresent shadow over West's life.
Just like this. It's like suddenly he's got the power over the dead people.
More blood dribbling.
Yay.
Oh, and it's gone.
But there'll be more.
Oh, it's back again.
Twitchy face. Oh, there's lots of blood dribble in this.
Yeah, there is.
I do remember thinking that this was one of the goriest films I'd ever seen. It still holds up as one of the gorier ones. Sure.
I mean, it's not shockingly gory, is it? It's just there.
Just by its nature.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this titty mag.
Yep.
And this fucking kills me every time.
He don't give a
Think
shit.
about this seems awkward or weird or hilarious.
It's because he don't give a shit. He'd work for a Cthulhu or a Shoggoth. He wouldn't give a shit. As long as he's able to chew on the stogie, go to the loo a lot.
I love that implies he didn't even know somebody was there until that happened.
Yeah.
He was reading the articles?
Even though it's clearly in his peripheral vision and then some. Like, oh man,
You're totally right.
All right.
Great time, yeah.
he's off to fap.
The man is wank happy, I'm telling you right now. He just can't stop himself.
Well, at least he's getting joy from his work.
I'm getting paid to masturbate. All right.
Put my wig back on. Put it back
I
on.
love how it's like, is he struggling for air? I mean, what does it matter at this point? The head's not even attached to the lungs anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you sound like you're gasping for air at this point?
Look around the room, doctor.
But don't pull my toupee off.
Oh, back in the bucket with you.
Into the mud, scum queen. Which is the second Man with Two Brains reference for tonight.
Boom.
I love those aqua.
Someone reattached the door as well, which is good of them. Yeah.
Why is the head suddenly standing up without issue now?
And has a load of blood in the tray.
Yeah. Even though clearly the blood right there hasn't been before. Oh dear.
Dan, are you a rapist?
Oh.
I am not a rapist.
Very nearly said something there I would have regretted.
Well, you know, if she's standing there with a ridiculous pink top, any man becomes a rapist.
Is that sexy 80s nightgown?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it's a 90.
look at it.
You know what you should have done? You should have gone, Barbara, I'm your father. Let's have sex. You in the mood, love?
Oh, Jesus.
No, Dan, I'm not in the mood. Why not? Oh, I've got a headache. Ugh.
Don't call me Dan, call me Dad.
Call me zombie daddy.
Zombie daddy lovey baby.
In the mood now? No.
This isn't helping, is it?
You guys, you're not taking this scene seriously enough. Their love is broken. It's so sad.
I will raise up your love and break it.
Man,
Look,
Ba-
you're torn apart. It's so sad. Can't you feel it?
I feel nothing.
It's like, where's the next bit of gore? Come on.
I just want to see Combs running around doing strange things with his face.
I'd like to see him drop kicking zombies out of windows.
Oh,
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home, and this is a truly awful door.
Oh, get off my face, doctor.
Carry on, Doctor.
One slam off the wall. My God, look how much blood came out the back of his head.
I know.
He's got a head like a sponge.
Sure, that's a Limp Bizkit song, isn't it? Head like a sponge.
Sounds like it.
It's the line of the show right here, folks.
What, the door?
Yeah, the door.
Ooh, nearly fell over.
The guy who does the body work for Hill's body. That's a really clumsy sentence, and I can't think of a better way of doing it. He really is just the most unfortunate person ever.
Yeah.
Having to wander around without his face.
He's selling it well, though, because...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he can't see out.
enough, I think, you know.
Maybe he can't actually see out the mask is how they did it.
I don't think he can.
Because it's pretty convincing that he's just staggering around going, oh, getting my daughter's top off. Rip. Oh, so easy to get a 90 off in the 80s.
Just for fair. It's like in Evil Dead 2 when they're wearing whenever anybody's possessed, they couldn't see shit because they're wearing those big, huge scleral lenses that cover up the whole eye.
Yeah.
Seriously couldn't see shit. That's when they move so awkwardly. It's like, oh,
It sold it, though.
God.
There you go.
Yeah,
Complete
exactly.
full frontal nudity.
Bit of a move.
I was actually quite thrown by that.
So was I. I didn't suspect it the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go. There it is. But they did the classy thing of showing it from the head downwards instead of the other way.
Thankfully.
Classy? Question mark? Hard to say.
Well, if they did it the other way around, then the film wouldn't have been released.
Well, it would have been. It probably would have had to be pixelated.
Japanese style.
Yeah.
That's a 7 shades of wrong.
You know, I'll give the girl credit when they hired her for the movie. I wonder if they said in the auditions that there will be breast feelage.
There will be a group scene by a headless man.
Yeah.
Oh, she would have known. She would have read the script first. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Oh, God, what a time to wake up. Oh, even worse.
Here's the thing. She gets her arm free, and then she doesn't really resist.
Yeah, it's like your arm is free. You could undo the strap on the other arm right now and be out of there.
Yeah.
I suppose you're too busy losing your mind.
Yeah, you could argue that she's being shown some things that are rather difficult to deal with.
But she is being complimented on how magnificent her body is.
Right in the
By the dead.
Well, you know.
dripping blood from its neck. Oh.
Right on the hip.
See, that just makes me go, I'm crossing my arms across my boobs right now.
I will admit, I am sitting here with a slightly uncomfortable glaze on my face.
Yeah. She isn't really fighting too hard.
But she doesn't want to touch him either. I don't blame her.
I would touch him to get him away from me. You know, anything to stop the man licking
You
me.
do this shocking bit with her fighting back too hard.
Oh, totally.
And this is like, are you fucking kidding?
And Jeffrey comes in to save the day.
I love that Jeffrey's like disgusted. This is what he does with what he's been given.
Oh, yeah, but it's not that he's disgusted of what he sees. He's just disgusted that the doctor's not really, living up to what he could do.
That's what I'm saying. He's disgusted, but that's what I mean. He's disgusted by it because it's not scientific. It's like, oh man, you could be doing so much more with this, Instead, you're choosing to go down on a co-ed.
Yeah. Also, the body of the doctor has gained massive weight at this point.
Yes, it has.
He has eaten many of the dead to gain his now huge size, which is impressive since he doesn't have a mouth.
He's just been shoving.
Burgers, man.
He's been shoving McDonald's down his neck. I do like the facial movements that Hill has.
Yeah. Naked people.
Naked dead.
Oh, yeah, they are dead as well, aren't they?
Yes. So I'm trying to work out what the plan here is. What is the evil zombie plan?
Well, raise the dead, something, get rich.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love that.
I see you.
Step 1, raise the dead. Step 2, Step 3, profit.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go to work. Work all day. Night. The short underpants, yay. We do underpants. I'm telling you,
I think the dead makeup on the coloured man is a lot better than it was, say, in Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
Oh,
They
yeah, because that's
caked
just
them.
gray. Yeah.
Yeah, they caked them in makeup. This is a bit more natural, at least.
As I said, the effects in the film are pretty damn good. They're standing up quite nicely.
Yeah.
As you say, there are a couple of bits, especially when you see the prosthetic head face on.
Yes. That's the worst time.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they get around it.
I've got a wonderful story about prosthetic head in a live-action roleplay.
Well,
we forgot that we were pissed around with it, and it looked like Tom Baker. Then we accidentally left it in a room where it shouldn't have been, just as the players turned up and started freaking out at the Tom Baker's head that was just sitting on a table.
that's bizarre. So, the doctor had basically learned how to lobotomize the dead and then mind control them.
Yes.
Science.
Because science.
Yeah.
There really is nothing better than because science.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that the burn victim was actually one of the guys that was in there with Schwarzenegger's body double.
That's true. Yeah, I think most of them were. We needed a scene where he goes, "Oh hell no."
Yeah. I was just
Or
thinking,
he had to either say that or say I'm too old for this shit.
Yes.
I was just thinking, all these bodies have been in there for quite some time. Looking a bit fresh.
Ooh, we squeeze into head and they all go owie.
Pop. So you don't need eyes to live.
Where are we all going? You don't need eyes to see.
No. Oh, here's something. He gets 2 of these things, and he has a theory.
Yes.
What is the theory?
Overloading it?
To do what?
Just to make it just completely shut down or something.
I think the idea is if you put in too much, it goes boom.
Yeah.
Pop. Fantastic.
Toasty.
There was
Yeah.
I'm off to work.
that on garbage bags.
No, he isn't, because he dropped his magazine.
So-
He was so terrified the pawn was left alone.
Man, that's some real terror.
And
Here we go.
here's where it becomes truly Lovecraft. I was like, yep, it's a tentacle, so it's truly Lovecraft now.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is becoming the indescribable horror, I suppose.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't particularly want an intestine wrapped around my face.
Especially interesting.
Yeah, especially not an intestine that horribly mutated and large.
Yeah, and veiny.
Yeah, throbbing intestine.
It did look a little bit phallic.
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's in his mouth.
I love how all of the dead have basically gone crazy and like, let's go smash everything, since that's our basic programming.
The power of love.
Sort of. See?
West. God damn it, West. Stop sticking things in dead people.
My notes! Oh, there's the line repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Which is impressive, because he had a big tentacle wrapped around his mouth.
Yes, he did. His mouth was full of tentacle dick.
Yeah.
It's not tentacle dick. Jesus Christ.
It's close enough. Oh, look at him dance.
Yeah, let's do the same with the strobing of the light. That's just like a mid-90s raver, isn't it?
Oh, he's dancing. When was the last time you had
What to that guy's face?
It looks like chest burster went through it.
I'm telling you, it looks like it.
I'm thinking it was a gun wound from behind, like he was shot from the back of the head. Oh, don't leave me, Barbara. I still love you. I don't know who you are, like.
The practical effects in this were actually done by Everett Burrell, who is contemporaries with, among other people, the K&B guys. Like, he's friends with them. And one of his earliest films was Day of the Dead with
Like a cherry.
from K&B. And he's worked on other stuff like Fate of Mars and Aliens and Great Ship 2 and Phantasm 2 and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Babylon 5. Actually, he's worked on that. So that guy's been all over the place. That's why this stuff looks good.
It does. I mean, that hand, just by itself, is quite effective.
Yeah.
What's this? Covered in blood, wearing a white vest? Who the hell do you think you are? Trumpet playing?
Staring at Dean's daughter, mostly naked and dead.
I'm bloody. Don't forget bloody.
Get out of my way.
And we go back to where we started the movie.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, where we first saw Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show those titties.
I love how that doctor there with the beard was just looking at them as well.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I just wanted to have a look at them.
I just keep staring at them. I can't stop. That's exactly where it looks like he's looking.
Yeah.
You perv, go away.
The one that looks a bit like Frank Welker just looks like he's there actually taking notes. But Dr. Fraser Crane's just looking at the breasts.
That's Dr. Beard for say.
Oh, yes. Beard for say.
I have to say that I always thought that looked very uncomfortable, like somebody pretending to do CPR on you like that.
Yeah, to be
You
honest,
have to just lay there and let them push into your chest over and over again.
you should really never do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially now, they say that's all you need to do for CPR. You don't have to do the breathing.
No. Interesting fact, the longest anyone's ever been able to keep CPR up for, 47 minutes.
Wow.
And if you've ever tried doing CPR, you know
hard.
it's fucking difficult.
Yeah.
It's
So they built like Arnie.
no, there was two of them in a field, and they took turns.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just one guy.
No, two guys at 4-minute intervals, which is fairly impressive. But that's got nothing to do with this film.
Nor has most of
Here we the heartbroken Dan. Can't believe it. His lovely lady love Megan is dead.
My lovely lady.
Who knew this would happen? Zombies coming back from the dead, a bad idea.
Horror films never have, lead women die. Especially ones that have sex.
No, actually, that's true. She did have sex, so she was needing to die.
Yep.
That just looked a bit like a purse.
Dan says we have something for this.
We have this horrible green thing that can kill us super dead now. Yeah, Barbara, drink it. It's
This touch at the end, though, where it goes black.
Yes.
This is creepy, though, the last line. Here it comes. Ooh, it's creepy.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you so much. I'll bring you back from the dead because that worked so well before.
Cue the music. Cue the obvious shooting into the cushion next to her neck.
Yeah.
And black. Scream. There you go.
So what do you think happens at the end there? Do you think he gets eaten by her?
Well, by the is this thinking that there was never going to be a second movie?
Yeah.
Well, she was fairly fresh, so she might have some sense of who she is, which is why she screamed.
I'd rather think that she goes a bit crazy somehow or another, but that he decides to kill her. He becomes to his senses sooner rather than later. It just isn't going to work.
Or she kills herself in front of him and then he kills himself. Because I can't live without... Well, she doesn't want to be a monster, and he goes, "Oh, I can't live without you. What have I become?" That seems cliche enough that they would go that way. Because Anna's such a wimp, it's, again, kind of his route that he would take, I feel.
But then you also kind of wonder, has he turned the corner now to where he's Westville? Turned the corner to Westville where he's as obsessed as West. Was this the thing enough, to be a chrysalis for him to become, obsessed like West,
Yeah. Okay. Also, that was Herbert West, ReAnimator.
No, it was just ReAnimator.
Yeah, I like to say the full name.
It is a
But
good
that's not the name of the movie.
I know it isn't, but I like saying it.
You're so silly.
Before I ask you a question, I'm going to just mention something that I was going to mention through the film, but completely forgot about it. Do you ever play Splatterhouse?
Yes. Well, only the second one.
Do you remember what the name of the guy who owned the mansion was?
I don't. I remember you after Barbara, I think, weren't you?
Yep, you're after Barbara and the
West, was it?
Henry West.
Henry West, okay.
Dr. Henry West. Just an interesting little thing. But anyway, so that was ReAnimator. Your thoughts, please. We'll start with Andy.
Yeah, very fun. It was the first horror movie I'd seen in a long time, where I was like, oh man, this is a really good horror movie. It's got a load of good effects. The story's pretty solid. Like we mentioned while watching it, it's fairly quick pace. There are very few slow moments. It has recently been knocked off the top of my list and been put onto the number 2 slot.
Oh
yes.
What went into the number 1 out of interest?
In the Mouth of Madness.
Ah, good man.
Yeah, that one just toppled it. I went, yep, sorry, gotta go there.
Yep.
But this one's still really good. It's still worth a watch. Unfortunately, the sequels are...
Shit.
I was going to say they're certainly sequels to a good movie. As would expect them to be. There's nothing surprising about them. Actually, there is a couple of things surprising about them, like the direction they went. But yeah, like we mentioned, it doesn't feel very Lovecraftian.
No.
But that's not a bad thing either, because it's still good.
It is one of Stuart Gordon's attempts at bringing Lovecraft to cinema. I think his other 2 attempts in Necronomicon and Dagon work out a lot better as the Lovecraft films. But as a sort of Evil Dead style movie, I think this is perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's an enjoyable, silly little film that has quite good fun with its source material, I think is a good way of putting it. Slick, your thoughts on ReAnimator, otherwise known as Herbert West. ReAnimator.
I'm trying to think if my brother told me, like, it was definitely one of those films that my brother's like, you have to see this. And I did, after I saw it, I understood why he said that. I still love this movie. Always will. Always will. I don't think I have to say, I think it's one of the most original horror films out there. Because when you look at the grand scheme of horror, it is kind of as much as I love horror, you do have I think there's a limit to how much originality you find in it, especially now. Oh God, now especially. But this definitely had its own thing, you know what I mean? Had its own groove, so to speak. And there's some funny bits in it, which I kind of like. And I don't know whether Gordon really intended them to be. I think he probably did, but
Oh, yeah, he has to have.
yeah. So, and it was also, I think it was the first time I ever saw Jeffrey Combs in anything. So, yeah, and I'm a lifelong Combs fan ever since. So,
Okay.
watch it if you like horror. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it.
What about yourself, Adam?
As I said, I find it to be a fun little romp. I find it difficult calling it a horror film because there's nothing in a horror film to me is something that scares you or gets stuck in your brain. You know, it's something that should.
Much different definitions of horror films than me, because Andy was saying Masters of Horror stuff isn't horror. I'm like, yes, it is. It's all horror.
No, it's not.
I suppose if you class as horror being something that's horrible, then you could classify it as a horror
I
film.
don't think it's that simply defined. But
No, I always find a horror film to me is a film that it's like saying that. Would you say that the Jason films are horror films? No, they're not horror films at all. You know, I don't classify this as a horror film as such because it doesn't unsettle me. It doesn't scare me. If anything, I find it more to be a comedy horror. You know, what I enjoy from it is apart from the performances of the main characters, is that the effects are superb, especially the shoestring budget that they had at the time, and the humor really shines through. I love the way that the film carries on, and it gains more and more momentum as it goes, and just gets sillier and sillier. But I mean, it's not like something like Event Horizon where you find yourself sitting a few days afterwards and still wondering, should I turn the lights back on?
see, I wouldn't call Event Horizon horror at all. No, I found it incredibly boring. I didn't like that movie at all.
All right, Hellraiser then, the first Hellraiser film, where you get unsettled by what you're seeing.
Ah, yes, that I would have to agree with. Yeah.
You know, I enjoy Herbert West, ReAnimator, quite a lot. I think it's a fun, rompy film that does a lot of very fun and silly things that I thoroughly enjoy. But there's never any point in the film where I sit there going, that's going to stick with me for quite some time. There's bits where I wince, but that's got more to do with the sort of mutilation of bodies than anything else.
Mm. Well, there can't be many movies in this day and age that you would, with that definition that you've given, you'd really class as horror then, I would guess then.
Well, no, I think, to be honest with you, I'd say that horror's a genre of cinema that's dying out. Because it's very difficult to do a film that... I think it's more to do with the fact that unless it's something that affects me on a psychological level, I usually have a tendency of forgetting it.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to to the horror genre. But I think horror is a genre of film that you can say encompasses many different things. This is just my opinion and my thoughts on it.
As I say, that's your definition of horror. I don't.
Oh,
you have
completely.
It's got to be much broader than that. Horror is not dying out at all. It's just not very good right now. Yeah, that's why you have to look for the gems like this. A lot of the stuff that Del Toro produces, like this Mama movie, I'm hearing very good things. Just seem to see that.
Yeah.
So, but don't watch Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, God. See, that is a horror film. It's just a shit one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is a shit one. Didn't expect good things, but I was still disappointed. Yeah, ouch.
I think the highlight of that film is, ooh, that's the best use of an Xbox I've ever seen.
You mean Connect?
Connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a revelation to me because I didn't know they did that.
Well, neither did I.
And I was like, that's actually really fucking cool. And then you start seeing something move in those dots, and you're like, oh.
How can a film with a concept this good be this bad?
Easy. Because they shoveled it out because they've turned it into a serialized series.
Yeah,
and
they've sawed it. They've
Yeah.
turned it into, now we have to turn one out every October. There's going to be a 5th one next October.
And if you didn't know, there are no less than 4 parody films coming this year.
Oh, really?
4.
Yeah, one's already been out from the Wayans brothers. Yeah.
Remember when I used to like the Wayans brothers back when I was 14 or 15?
Don't Be Against the South Central was Drinking His Juice in the Hood is still a great film.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You really should. It's very good. But anyhow, I think we should wrap this up now because we're rambling now, I think. And both me and Slick are full of evil.
Yeah, if you ever want to do a podcast, now I'm tempted to do one all about horror and just say what defines horror and what would you call horror. And so that conversations like that about heavy metal too. Like I have very limited definitions of what I would call heavy metal. And I only mention them in the same breath because it's like my 2 favorite things, horror and heavy metal. But yeah, and other people are like, "Oh my God, you don't think this band's metal?" And I'm like, "No, they're not." So I like having conversations with like just hearing, as long as you're not being stupid and immature about it, and like being like, "No, your opinion's wrong, fuck you." And being serious like that. I mean, you could do it jokingly, obviously, but as we have done before. But I like hearing what other people's. It's interesting to me that you would define. I would like to converse with you more on this stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's something we could probably do maybe when we've come to the end of this this little project. I think it might be a very interesting idea to actually sit down with a few people and have a discussion of the horror genre and where it's at and what's going on with it. I think that would be a very good bookend, actually. So consider yourself invited to that, Miss Slick.
Oh, see, I was going to try and do it on my own, but okay.
Oh, okay, then fine, you do that.
Well, it was my idea. I'm like,
Oh, you take your ideas and you run with them then. I'll sit over here and steal them and do something else with them instead. Yeah. Right, anyhow, with that.
Too hard, I'll
Yes, so I think I need to go and lens it myself up, so we're going to draw this to a close.
just don't inject yourself with anything that's like neon green.
Oh, I've got a couple of glow sticks over here that I'm going to eat just to see what happens.
Delicious.
Would you like... Nom 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 nom. Why are the squirrels falling from my trees? Slick, would you like to tell the people at home where they can find you?
I'm on Facebook and I'm on the Random Fandom. Hopefully we'll return someday. I'm on Twitter, Ms. Slick, MS Slick. So that's where you can find me.
Oh, okay. Andy, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Moonbase 2 podcast at fullmetalhero.com. You can find me on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW, and you can find me on Twitter at CCTFW, all in capitals.
Excellent.
TFW.
TFW.
Can you not also find Andy in Biker Grove?
You can indeed find Andy in Biker Grove because he is a Geordie. And all Geordies were in Biker Grove.
Believe it or
For
not.
some reason, Andy doesn't have the accent.
Nope. I don't. Never picked it up.
Hey, I want to know why.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Do your grandparents have the accent?
No.
Did your mom? That's so funny to me.
Well, I don't have a Cumbrian accent.
But you also grew up all over the place. Born in Kenya, and you grew up in Saudi Arabia, and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah, but I was working
you were
different
born and
places.
raised in Newcastle, right, Andy?
Yep.
Or am I giving away too much personal information?
No.
I actually thought you were going to start redoing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme tune with Andy as the main point. Anyhow, we're done.
Bel Air.
We're done. We're closing this down. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.